You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
It grabs headlines when it causes the death of a famous person, but the Pulaski County Sheriff here at home says that hundreds have overdosed and dozens have died after abusing heroin in his community. Hello again, everybody. I'm David Oliver.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Kilman. The county is caught between heroin traffickers from across the nation, accessibility from a major interstate, and users right here at home. Color 10's Lori Patton reports a recovering addict, a mother of 2 young boys, has joined in the fight, and she's not alone. She says this battle will be one life at a time.
I don't want to say it's the best feeling in the world because of where the dark place that it took me in my life. It makes everything go away, any pain, but it also takes away your happiness.
33-year-old Pulaski County resident Stephanie Brown spent 7 years in heroin's haze.
I've never been married, but I was married to heroin. It was the love of my life. It came first and foremost before my kids. I lost jobs. I lost everything.
Brown says to the uninitiated, the feeling heroin gives is hard to explain. But if actions speak louder than words.
If you can lose everything that possibly means anything to you in your life for this one drug, that tells you how addictive it is right there.
Getting heroin became the focus of Brown's life.
A tenth is $50. So I had a almost gram to 2 gram a habit a day, which is close to $400 a day. We would go to Lowe's and steal copper. We would go to Walmart and steal flat screen TVs to trade to drug dealers. My family, anything that they had that was worth anything was gone. I would take from my children's piggy banks.
Brown ended up in Pulaski County Drug Court.
I had 17 felonies of stealing, possession, you name it, I had it. I mean, and this was built up over a sum of 5 years. And it was all because the ways and means to use on a daily basis.
Stephanie used right before drug court and was selected that day to give a random urine sample. In the days that followed, she scrambled, writing letters, devising plans, anything, she says, to stay out of prison. It was here, standing in front of a judge in Pulaski County Drug Court, that Stephanie Brown temporarily lost her freedom. And she says that's what saved her life.
And thank God that he decided to put me in prison and not just on house arrest, because I would have never stopped.
In March of 2012, Brown ended up in a Missouri Department of Corrections women's facility in Vandalia, sentenced to 120 days shock time. Brown's 6-year-old son came to visit after 2.5 months of Stephanie detoxing.
I think it was the first family visit that I got in my 120. And my son, he said, "You look better than I've ever seen you." And that just, I'll never forget that day, because I didn't know how deep that it had hurt him.
Brown still carries her prison ID, so she won't forget what she did to her life with heroin, what she looked like, and what she lost.
Everything. I mean, there's not one thing that was left.
Pulaski County Sheriff Ron Long says Brown's story isn't unique in his county.
Over the last 5 years, we've had over 500 overdoses, and that includes some other drugs too, but primarily heroin. And also, we've had over 50 deaths, with 13 of them being last year.
The sheriff says heroin dealers are using this county with a population of 54,000 people as a hub of sorts.
We seem to be the center of it right now, a center distribution area for this part of the state. First of all, we have a military base. We also are right along Interstate 44. So I think it's the #3 highway in the United States where people transport drugs through. Groups out of Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Dallas have picked Pulaski County because of some of these factors to start up a distribution point too. So that's why we have state agencies working with us. And also the federal government, the FBI, and a lot of the DEA agents in this area are doing work down here too.
Long is trying to battle the dealers, one life at a time, focusing on the recovery of the addict.
So we've decided that just law enforcement, just the enforcement part, that's not effective when it comes down to addiction. We have to have a community effort. So we decided to begin this Heroin Action Committee. We have doctors, we have judges, prosecutors, law enforcement from every agency in this part of the state almost.
Nearly 2 years sober, Stephanie Brown is now an important part of this action committee.
It's to keep giving back from a community that I took away from for so long.
Brown knows the battle these addicts are facing.
Most of them don't make it out. And if they make it out, they're spending the rest of their life in prison, or they're in 6 feet under the ground.
Brown says while 50 deaths and 500 overdoses in 5 years are sobering numbers, no one deserves to die a statistic.
No, we're saving lives, we're saving children, we're saving parents. Yeah, we're not just a number. We are somebody, because I wasn't always just an addict.
While visiting her dark past is difficult for Brown, she looks at her future and the future of her community with a steely resolve.
I want to show my kids that, you know, their mother that they knew for so long, that's not who they have anymore. This is a whole new mom. But I do know that if I can make it out of this, anybody can, because I think I was pretty much probably one of as bad as you can get.
And that was Lori Patton reporting. The next meeting for the Heroin Action Committee is Monday, February 24th at 10 a.m. It takes place at the Pulaski County Courthouse. We've also added additional parts of Stephanie Brown's interview to our website in our web extra. Learn more about Brown's recovery and why her family is her main motivation. And make sure to look for Lori Patton's continuing reports on this heroin issue.